What does digital transformation, really mean to your company? And what happened yesterday is there was always a relationship to this new work from home environment that we're into. So feel free, panelists, to bring that topic into your answer to that question.
So I think that everybody is aware that we're sort of living in this age of digital disruption. So you see that in the turn of the logos that exist in the Fortune 500. There are companies that are less than 10 years old that are on that list, and then there are companies that we thought would never go away that were household names and are no longer there. And so that digital disruption age is among us. And so I think it's just about that organizations are not necessarily, it's not all brand new in terms of what they're charging toward, which is to deliver great products and deliver a great customer experience and do that in the most efficient way possible. I think that's sort of always been on the mind of every CEO and CFO and CIO, for companies, but it's just, how do you do that in a way that allows for you to innovate at the pace that's required given the level of disruption that's in the market. And so for us, I think digital transformation means, how do we help our customers think more like a software company? How do you take the assets and the knowledge and the people and just your mission statement and what you're trying to drive toward, and remain nimble and agile? And a lot of that is to digitize your processes. And I think it's been incredibly insightful to see how many organizations have just risen to the occasion because of the coronavirus situation. It's really incredible to see how companies can do it when unfortunately forced to do so. And so for us, it's just about helping organizations drive down costs and find ways to rebound afterwards, and in between driving business continuity, so that you don't have huge peaks and valleys in the business if something like this were to happen again.
Yeah, I think it's hard to separate the topic from our current reality, because the pandemic just provides this great business case for why this is important. So I feel like we've been pretty well prepared for this type of work culture. We're very distributed. Our critical IT systems that we need to do our jobs have pretty much all been moved to the cloud, and we generally don't even need VPN for most of our critical business applications. Certainly in my day job of running our customer-facing operation, we still need VPN for that access. But while we were fairly well prepared, I've had so many conversations with people in my organization, just checking in. I think I've been working overtime, checking in with people and seeing how people are doing. The folks in my organization, their spouses, their family members are still going into an office every day, in industries that shouldn't be necessary to do so. And it's just because they really haven't, these companies haven't taken the steps to, transform themselves digitally and make access to records from anywhere and things like that. So still a tremendous opportunity. It kind of woke me up to the reality of, while we're living in this world where we were able to transition easily, a lot of companies are not. And then for our customers, the CX platforms, think, contact centers, call centers. Our customers run call centers that support their customers. And the way this pandemic kind of shaped up, some of our customers had call centers in China, and, they were starting to be affected first. So they were able to shift those contact centers to contact centers in other parts of the world. And as the pandemic, took shape, and, globally, everybody shifts to work from home. We went from moving from one contact center to another and supporting that, to supporting 100% contact center work from home. So that was a major shift for our customers, and making sure that we had the connectivity, we could support, the bandwidth, and distributing those workforces from, brick and mortar contact centers to work from home for our customers.
For the panelists that have, added an SD-WAN, I'd like you to describe some of the benefits, and then also the business outcomes that you were expecting. Which of those expectations were met, which ones were not met, and any surprises, after deploying an SD-WAN.
Leveraging SD-WAN gave us improved reliability. You have outages, circuits drop, have hardware failures, but the business doesn't know. We're able to reroute and dynamically adjust traffic flows to hide the technical issues, right, from users, and keep it reliable from their perspective. It's improved performance and agility for us. Again, we're a software company. Our engineers love to move a lot of data back and forth across the network, regardless of where they are. So, leveraging SD-WAN helps us deal with that bandwidth and provides them the performance that they need to work. And specifically, even with the pandemic, what happened is R&D changed their behaviors because they were working remotely now, and the traffic flows dramatically changed, and they were transferring a lot more data different ways than they used to. We were able to handle it. So we were able to reroute traffic, reprioritize traffic, and adjust in a matter of hours versus weeks, with trying to order circuits or change capacities. It's kind of like a standard. You always say this, but it's true for us. We're doing SD-WAN is making this more cost effective. I'm able to leverage more varied last mile providers. I can use only internet. We have no MPLS, haven't had it for years, but it also helps with point-to-point circuits where those made sense. So I'm able to mix and match and use the best technology depending on the facility and the requirements, and then overlay SD-WAN over it to best manage it and handle the traffic flows. And then I guess the last thing is around security. I think I mentioned we're in a lot of countries. We're in some countries where I don't have as much, or there's more risk from a security perspective. At the end of the day, the fiber that's coming out of one of my secured cages going through a building to a DMARC or out to the carrier, I have no control over that. And oftentimes I don't even have staff at those offices. SD-WAN does full encryption. So all the traffic that's egressing out of my network is fully encrypted no matter what. So I'm able to control that and add an extra layer of protection and security over what other tools that we do.
In the post-COVID-19 era, do you think this will push more demand for cloud, putting workloads in the cloud, or, SaaS using more SaaS applications, as time goes on? The workforce will evolve, will be a little bit differently, right? Does anyone have any projections on that? It'd be interesting to hear.
Hard yes. I think
plus
it's been
one to that.
I think what this has proven is the capabilities and how you can leverage cloud resources. Any skeptics inside the business we've proven what's possible now, and I don't see that going away. The other thing that comes to mind is, you said post-COVID. When is that?
Yeah,
It's going to be a long
Right.
slog here. It's not measured in weeks or months. It might be longer. So
for the folks on the call, panelists or otherwise, that already have an SD-WAN, and you've gone through that evolution, that migration, any advice to the folks that are currently evaluating it, things they should pay attention to, things they should look for in the solution or in the vendor that provides the solution? And again, it doesn't have to be Silver Peak if you've deployed somebody else. Just some learnings that you've experienced that would be helpful to the rest of the audience.
I'll jump in. I don't want to get too nerdy, but one of the challenges we ran into was a lack of consistency. So as we're deploying the solution, especially at remote sites, our legacy infrastructure wasn't as consistently configured as I would have hoped. So that made each deployment of the solution slightly unique, right? So part of what we learned is to be more consistent and make sure we're doing deployments consistently. It makes it easier to manage, easier to upgrade. Obviously, everything down the road is much easier. And then just go faster. We didn't go as fast as we could have. We chose to slow it down because we were nervous. But looking back, that was a mistake. We should have gone as quickly as we could, especially in this world where things are happening so quickly and the world economics are changing, everything's changing. Just make the decision, get it done, and you'll reap the benefits faster.